Faster than ever if a student or teacher needs to quarantine. The North Dakota Department of Health has announced that it's rolling out free rapid testing for K-12 teachers, staff, and administrators starting this week. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live with a breakdown of what this will mean for your kids in the classroom. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan. This is because they're all part of a pilot program, and this is used to track asymptomatic COVID-19 cases so that we can go ahead to isolate quickly, but also stop the spread of future COVID-19 cases in this area. So Fargo and West Fargo schools will be the first one. So for example, Lincoln Elementary right behind me is part of Fargo schools, which means they're going to be part of that group that I just mentioned. Now, this is limited to K through 12 personnel. It's recommended, since they're closely around children daily, students will not be tested, and the plan is to test weekly until the end of 2020. Now, they use Binex Now antigen testing, and that's used to diagnose someone in as little as 15 minutes. Now, it's providing testing before Thanksgiving because that's going to help fine-tune the strategy to reduce community spread. And Governor Burgum says it puts bending the curve in the right direction. Now, this will also help schools maintain being in an in-person learning if this testing is working right like they're saying. We also want to let you know that you want to keep social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands, and prevent indoor crowded spacings.
Some good advice as we all try to help lessen the amount of cases in the area. Brian Sherrod reporting live. Thank you. Breaking news from overnight. The state fire marshal is being called in to investigate a fire at a Clay County home. Glendon and Holly fire crews were called to this house fire at 2007 170th Street North near Glendon just after 10 last night. They saw smoke and flames coming from the home as they pulled up. The person inside got out safely and was not hurt. Crews knocked down the flames within a few minutes, and they spent the rest of the night watching for any flare-ups. We have new information this morning on that massive fire at a South Fargo apartment complex earlier this month. Fire crews are confirming what neighbors were saying the day it happened. That fire was caused by a cigarette butt that wasn't put out properly. The fire started on a third-floor balcony of 137 Prairiewood Drive on November 5th, and then it moved into the building and the attic. Damage is estimated at $590,000. No one was hurt in that blaze. Also, new information this morning on a semi-rollover that slowed I-94 traffic in West Fargo for about 5 hours. The North Dakota Highway Patrol now says the semi-driver is being ticketed for care required. Troopers say the driver was eastbound about 1 mile out of West Fargo when he drove off the interstate. He tried to get the semi back on the highway but ended up rolling into the ditch. The cab went on its side, the trailer on its roof. The driver was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. It is now 6:52 on our Monday morning. We want to get a check of our forecast with meteorologist Lisa Green. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. It's looking pretty out there, and it's not feeling too bad either. We're looking at some clear skies here this morning as we're looking off to the southeast. You can see that sunrise starting up, a nice view of Venus shining brightly there at the top of your screen as well. And taking a look at your temperatures, we're cold. We're below freezing. You're going to need that coat here this morning. 20 degrees in Fargo and 16 in Grand Forks. We're down to 9 in Roseau right now. Not too much wind, but this is going to pick up through the day today. We're looking at about 5 to 15 at the moment out of the east or southeast. We'll see those winds really get going more into the 20s, maybe even some 30s late tonight. Taking a look at your radar and satellite map, it's quiet across the tri-state area. We do have a few clouds more into our eastern viewing area into Bemidji right now. So here's a look at our bus stop forecast. This morning, it's cold. We've got temperatures in the teens and 20s again, but we'll have some sunny skies. This afternoon, in the Southern Valley, we'll get above freezing. We're looking at mid-30s, upper 30s for many of us in the south with plenty of sun once again. Notice that wind, though. We're about 19 miles per hour there for 3 o'clock. Well, that's a steady speed. That's not counting the gusts that we'll be having. So keep in mind it's going to be a breezy one heading home from school. And then later tonight, we add the clouds and we add those snow chances as well overnight and into Tuesday morning. So we'll be having a different conversation this time tomorrow. But otherwise, it's looking pretty good to start off the holiday week. Let's preview that Thanksgiving forecast. Maybe you're one of those families doing the Zoom calls. I don't know. I'll be Zooming with some family members at the table. And we're looking at conditions that are going to be breezy on Thanksgiving Day, but not too bad. We're talking partly cloudy skies and temperatures that will be rising in the afternoon hours into the mid to some upper 30s for your Thanksgiving. And again, getting a little bit on the breezy side. For your holiday week as a whole, No major big storms or anything like that. We have that chance for a little bit of snow, maybe even a mix that's going to be light, but could still impact your drive Tuesday morning. And then again, Saturday night, that potential for a little bit of late night snow and some breezy weather on Sunday. Otherwise, looking fairly quiet with temperatures into the 30s to perhaps even low 40s on Saturday in your forecast. So no major cold outbreaks here or big time storms hitting us for this holiday week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Lisa. Police are considering possible charges after a gun was accidentally fired in the Shields parking lot in Grand Forks. Officers got the call just after 2 in the afternoon and talked with a man who says his 9mm handgun went off. He says that he was showing it to a friend and thought he had unloaded it. The man says he pulled the trigger. The bullet hit the ground. No one was hurt. 2 South Dakota law enforcement officials are asking the courts to overturn a citizen-approved constitutional amendment legalizing recreational marijuana in the state. The Pennington County Sheriff and the head of the Highway Patrol are challenging the constitutionality of the amendment in court. South Dakota became the first state to legalize both recreational and medical pot on the same ballot earlier this month. The lawsuit argues that amendment is a revision of the state constitution and it can only be done through a state convention. President-elect Joe Biden will start announcing his cabinet picks earlier this week. Incoming White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain says Americans will see the first of Biden's nominees tomorrow. Last week, Biden told reporters that he had settled on a Treasury Secretary and would be naming that person around Thanksgiving. But it is not known which specific cabinet roles will be filled this week. Klain also discussed a non-traditional inauguration on January 20th due to the continued surge in COVID-19 cases, saying there will be a scaled-down version of the various traditions. A Grand Forks man says a letter he had received from his grandmother appears to have fallen into the wrong hands before getting to him. He says it was opened and vandalized. Justin Gerzewski learned from his roommate that a letter from his grandmother had been ripped open. It was only later he learned that whoever did it also wrote an obscene message at the bottom of the card. Justin's grandmother didn't send any money in the card, which is what their biggest concern was when they saw that the mail had been tampered with.
I called her. I said, hey, somebody broke into our mail and they opened your card and you didn't send any money. And that's when she told me no and whatever. And I was like, okay, good. I did not tell her that somebody wrote in that card. I don't know if I dare tell her.
Justin is now contacting the rental company and the Postal Service to change the locks on his mailbox, so hopefully this doesn't happen again. U.S. airports were busy this weekend despite the CDC recommendation against traveling for Thanksgiving. There was a steady stream of travelers passing through New York's LaGuardia Airport just the other day. The Transportation Security Administration says more than 1 million people passed through their checkpoints at U.S. airports and just under 1 million on Saturday, bringing the total to more than 2 million. That's about half of what it was a year ago, but it comes on the same weekend when the U.S. recorded more than 12 million confirmed coronavirus cases. Some people in Fargo-Moorhead are looking to give back to those in need during this holiday season. Michael Travis and Crystal Warren are planning to give out plates of food out of their own home in Moorhead on Thanksgiving Day to anyone who needs it and their food donations so they can pay it forward. Travis says that his family's own struggle with homelessness is part of the inspiration to give back.
Through all the struggle and through all the things we've been through, we ain't been getting nothing but blessings, and I want to share that blessing. You know, I want to get a chance to show the people how good the community is.
Travis and Warren said they are taking COVID-19 precautions, including limiting the meal to 10 people at a time, requiring a face mask, and staying socially distanced. A middle-aged North Dakota couple got a taste of police action over the weekend when they helped a county deputy with an unruly drug suspect. A McLean County deputy was trying to get a 24-year-old man under control after a foot chase in Washburn on Saturday morning. Now the couple, in their 60s, was passing by when they saw the guy fighting with the deputy. That's when they helped the deputy hold the suspect until any of that backup arrived. That couple still got it. We have a great way to spread a little holiday cheer. Our virtual food drive is helping local families in need. You can get involved by downloading that free VNL News app. Just look for the virtual food drive and then click on that donate button. We now want to get the answer to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question that we have for today, a new survey asked, what's the most annoying thing that you have to wait for? 9% of people, so not a lot of them, just 9% of people said this. The answer is waiting to use that public restroom. I would have thought it would have been a little higher, but we had a lot of good guesses. Remember, you can play along every single day by heading to the Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today, it rolls on. We have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up on the Fargo CW. We're tracking some breaking overnight news, a house fire in Glendon. Authorities are still unsure of the cause. We'll have much more of that right after this on the Fargo CW. Have a great Monday, everyone.